gets here because this is when it gets
Yeah, yeah, no, we'll give him a
pretty
minute.
hairy. Huh?
We can give him a minute.
Yeah, he's going to the restroom. He's
Yeah.
old.
This is this is where the story gets crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important though to show how we changed and had to adapt. And this is business. People have to adapt. Even what's going on now with all this AI stuff. You know, all this stuff is going to be to the wayside that people are been doing forever, and robots and everything will be taking care of all this stuff.
Yeah.
So that's a really an adapted and it'll change. People will have to do different things to keep making their money, right? Or they're sitting off like we are, where we went broke. So anyway,
So he left. You
he
you you
left.
you've begun to learn how the world really works.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
okay, and
Which
then
I already knew that
s-
by how things changed all the time. You had to keep adapting. So he leaves, and I'm not really thinking much about that. Like I think I dodged a bullet by telling him to get lost.
Well,
Because I thought, go ahead.
we thought that if we would take that offer, that would be a bribe, and that we could be charged with a felony.
Yeah, that's what I actually told him. I said the worst that can happen now. It's a class 3 misdemeanor. The operating a game room and whatever it would just be a class 3 misdemeanor, right? Isn't that what it was?
Class A.
Class A, class whatever it
yeah,
was.
but paying a bribe is a much more serious.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, there is
that's
that
prison time.
I'd be wrapped up in it, and I said get out. So anyway, we were operating along, and I don't know how long after that meeting with that guy,
Seemed like a couple of weeks.
couple of weeks or something, they came in full force, SWAT team type crap,
Drug dogs.
drug dogs, took all the machines, arrested some people. Did they arrest anybody
They
that time?
they had him go down to the police station or the sheriff's department,
But how many?
and they didn't charge him though. They let him go.
See, I was the vendor for this company. Mike was the owner of the business. I had the machines, so I was on a different level than Mike, and so Mike was the evil guy. Look, Mike was the operator, and so they were. And if you happen to look this stuff up, Mike's in the paper, and he's telling how uh, when they came in and they were like 30 officers, and I'm pretty much running free around the place. Mike's being contained, and
Channel 5 News was there, by the way.
Channel 5 News. There was like all the news were there. There was helicopters in the air, and there was news out in the parking lot, the vans and stuff. And so I'm pretty free to run around. And so I go out in the front where the vans are at, and there's a news van out there. And I walk out there, and the sheriff is sitting in the news van watching the videos.
And they said that they said that they never contacted the Channel 5 News. How I don't know. You tell me, how in the hell can the whole group of people be there at the time? What timing does Channel 5 News have?
Oh, and they were
Amazing, amazing.
it was everywhere. You should have seen it. It was like all these reporters. They're in there questioning, like, why you do that?
They did. They said
I'm watching it.
the sheriff's department said they didn't want the Channel 5 cameras inside, and I said no, bring them in.
No, that was me. I said,
Oh, he did.
I said, if you don't, the sheriff actually said, as the news reporters were coming in to the office, and I'm standing there in the hallway, And the sheriff goes, no, I don't want anybody in here. I'll wait outside. And I went, you don't want him in here? And he goes, no, I don't want him in here. And I said, if you don't want him in here, I want him in here. I said, get in there. And so yeah, they go in there questioning Mike. So the sheriff leaves, goes out, and they're in there giving people tickets, and all these people that were playing and everything are giving them tickets and all this stuff. And so the sheriff goes out, and so I follow the sheriff. And and he goes and gets in the van. And so I go, and I'm standing outside the van. The doors are open, and in there are a bunch of TV screens and everything, you know, and they're in there interviewing Mike. All these reporters are interviewing Mike, and Mike says, "This is against my constitutional rights. I went to the sheriff. I did this. I did that." And he said, "This is like Germany." He says, "This is
nothing more than communist."
He said, "This is a socialist society leading towards a communistic society." And D. Anderson's there with his headphones on and everything, and he goes, he said communistic. He said, "That's not a word. That's not a word."
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it
I think
is.
it is.
And I said,
It's my word.
and I went,
If it's not a word.
he's sitting in there, big fat butt, and he's sitting in there, and I'm standing at the door, and he's laughing at Mike, my brother, on the news. And I said, whether that's a word or not, I said, you understand what he's talking about. And he goes, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So they take all our machines. They take all the money.
They took our livelihood
yeah.
with no proof of doing wrongdoing. And that right there, and you asked before what we think that is a something that should be changed.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be able to go into a place of business without knowing exactly, or going through a court and having you shouldn't be able to take people's livelihood from them,
Or else then we'll send in the powers that be.
and remember,
that's the puzzling thing to me. Is it would be very easy to put temporarily shut down your operation and say, hey, we need 48 hours to conduct like a thorough investigation.
Yeah.
But instead they disassembled your machines, right? Like they literally ripped everything out from under you.
They took them. They took everything, the money, everything they could get their hands on. They destroyed. We had our own ATM sitting in the lobby, and they destroyed it.
they took it all apart, cut the wires.
They destroyed it. Why? You know why? Because they don't want you to take that somewhere else and make money so you can fight them.